and the Houston Rockets mutually agreed to get traded by Houston. This is going to be a great move for the Houston Rockets as Jalen Green, the second overall pick in the NBA draft, needs an opportunity. And they want to start Kevin Porter Jr. It would be very awkward for an all-star to not start. So yeah, Jalen Green is going to shine without John Wall. So this would be the best possible situation for him. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about trade rumors and discussing some trades. So the first thing I want to talk about is where will John Wall get traded? There are 4 options. A, the Boston Celtics. B, the 76ers. C, the LA Clippers. And D, none of the above. Well, the correct answer is D, none of the above. And you might be really confused because Celtics, 76ers, and Clippers, they're pretty good options. But the best option for John Wall is this, Cancun. No, I'm just joking right now. It's not Cancun. That was just a joke. But let's actually talk about some possible trades for John Wall. The first trade for John Wall is him going to the Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic needs help, and in the postseason, Kristaps Porzingis didn't play that well. So the Houston Rockets get Kristaps Porzingis, Josh Richardson, Nico Melli, and the Dallas Mavericks get John Wall and Christian Wood. I think this would be a great trade for the Dallas Mavericks since John Wall fills, a need for the Dallas Mavericks as he could be a great scorer. And next to Luka Doncic, he could carry some load for some playmaking. Maybe it might not be the best fit, but John Wall can also play defense. They also get Christian Wood, another great player in the starting lineup, capable of being an all-star. But still, in my opinion, I don't think this is a good trade for the Houston Rockets. Although they're getting Kristaps Porzingis, a very, very talented player, and yes, he did play terrible in the playoffs, but he grew a lot of muscle in the off-season, and Jason Kidd has said he is healthy, and so if that is possible, the Houston Rockets, first of all, they are a young team in the NBA, so if that's possible, Kristaps Porzingis comes back and plays amazing, it could be a good trade for the Houston Rockets, but the Rockets are also giving up Christian Wood, so that isn't the best trade for the Rockets. So I don't think this trade would go through, and I don't really think that the Mavericks would be aggressive enough to do a trade like this. The next trade is John Wall going to the LA Clippers. So yeah, John Wall to the LA Clippers is a pretty good fit. He's a playmaker. The Clippers do not really need shooting. Although John Wall doesn't provide it, they've already got Paul George, they've already got Kawhi Leonard, they've already got Nicholas Batum. They've already got all of these players who can shoot the ball very, very well. So for the Clippers, I think it's a pretty good thing to get John Wall. You might think it as a risk because he can't even shoot the ball. But I don't think it's as big as a risk as they get like Russell Westbrook or something. I think it's better if they get John Wall, and they need to compete with the Nets, and they need to compete with the LA Lakers. For the Rockets, they're going to get Serge Ibaka, Eric Bledsoe to make the contracts work, and also Luke Kennard and Keon Johnson. For the Clippers, they get rid of Luke Kennard's contract, which isn't that good. And I think the Rockets could take that on because I think they could develop him and they could get the bang for their buck. And Luke Kennard, yeah, he's a really good shooter and he's a good young player who can come off the bench for this Rockets team. And he could be a good player for them. And they also get Keon Johnson, another good young prospect that could be good for the Houston Rockets. And as for these big contracts. Like Eric Bledsoe is a really big contract. I mean, I wouldn't say Serge Ibaka is a big contract because Serge Ibaka, yeah, he's making $9 million a year. So Serge Ibaka, they could either buy him out or they could trade him, and they could probably buy out Eric Bledsoe. So yeah, you're only getting Luka Doncic and Keon Johnson, but you could develop those guys, and you don't have that big, huge contract in John Wall. The next team we're talking about in a trade is the Boston Celtics. The Celtics are pretty interesting. I like this idea for the Boston Celtics. They're getting John Wall. And there's some ups and downs to this. The ups are that John Wall, he's a good defender. He's a point guard. He fills in the Boston Celtics need. And he's a good passer. And so I think that's a good trade for the Boston Celtics. Some concerns could be, their backcourt, the types of shots they're taking. Because sometimes Marcus Smart and John Wall take pretty bad shots. So that could be a pretty big concern for the Boston Celtics. And yeah, Marcus Smart can shoot the three ball pretty well, but maybe not the best three-point shooter in a backcourt of John Wall and a guy like Marcus Smart. But yeah, both of these players can play pretty good defense. And for the Rockets, they're getting 3 young players in Romeo Langford, Aaron Nesmith, and most importantly, Peyton Pritchard. With Al Horford, they could probably buy him out. He's a big contract that, had to be there in this trade. And Romeo Langford, he hasn't been playing that well in his career as people thought he would. So maybe he could develop in Houston. Aaron Nesmith, he's a pretty good player. He's a good defensive player. He could be a project for the Houston Rockets. And Peyton Pritchard could be a nice bench player. So now, where should John Wall get traded? So in my opinion, the best destinations for John Wall is the Celtics and the Clippers. And if I had to pick one, I think the Clippers would be the best. Yes, for the Celtics, it fills in a point guard need, but so for the Clippers. Because the Clippers also need a point guard. Reggie Jackson won't just cut it. I mean, Reggie Jackson is a great player. But imagine if they get a John Wall type player who could really be great and could help them make it to the finals and beat the LA Lakers. It would be such a good storyline. Imagine a conference finals with the Clippers' victory of John Wall, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard vs. the Los Angeles Lakers of Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. It would be Anthony Davis vs. Paul George, John Wall vs. Russell Westbrook, and a Kawhi Leonard vs. LeBron James themed conference finals. This would be the best for the league, honestly. And this would be best for the Clippers. And this is the only thing the Clippers could get without giving up Paul George. This would be an absolutely amazing trade. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and peace out.